yes. And she said, do you want the help that's being offered to you today? And I promise you, I went into full out panic, because what I experienced then was I saw to my right on the it was like I'm laying there and I'm having the spirits with this what I wanted to call angelic being, which I now know was my higher self, but at the time I would have never been able to even begin to conceive that idea. But I was taught in that experience, and I'm looking as I'm being told that help is being offered to me today, and I see this body bag drawing like on the side of a street kind of thing, and in that body bag is this black, deep, dark black sludge that it's just so much sludge I can hardly even describe it, and it looks like it's in a body bag. And she says, do you want us to help? Do you want help? She asked me again, and I said, yes. But as I'm looking at it, I'm also, she said, you know, it feels like there's confusion here. And what the confusion was I looked at that and I knew that it was the depression. And what happened when I recognized what was being offered to me and where I had traveled into a dimension where I could actually access the stream of consciousness for this depression, that I actually didn't know if I wanted to separate from it, because it was me. It was all that I had ever known. It was who I was. It was my identity. And I cannot explain to you the vibrational connection I had to that energy of that self-loathing depression experience. It was I loved it. I loved it more than life itself. It was me. And so what I was agreeing to was to actually separate from who I was and grow and let that be transformed. And in the moment that I had to make the decision, I almost couldn't make it. It was like if I'd had to choose between one of my children, I can't explain the experience of it. It was huge. It was absolutely huge. And the higher intelligence recognition that went on within me of, oh my God, my attachment to this experience of being a victim of depression was all that I ever knew. And that who would I be without it? And I didn't know that I wanted to let it go. And so I went in and I actually asked for help. Please help me. I know the right thing to do. I don't know if I can do it alone. Please help me. And she said, do you want help again? And I said, yes. But it literally felt like I had to force the yes out of me to admit that I was willing to release that experience or to transform that part of me. And then it was amazing. For the next 30 minutes or so, I don't know how long it went. I don't even remember where my healer was in the room. I was so engrossed in this experience. That white angelic being that is now me, and I know that, came and was standing there, and she kept reaching down, and I would scoop up this sludge, and I would hand it to her. And I promise you, this went on for probably 30 minutes, and I sobbed. I sobbed through every scoop I picked up. I sobbed. And every scoop I picked up was like giving away my soul almost on some level. And yet she would take it into her hands, would come out like white hands, and they would take it and she would infuse it into her belly and into the light. And we did this over and over and over again. I had never read one spiritual text, not one single spiritual text. I had no foundation intellectually or emotionally or spiritually for what this was that was happening to me or how to do it. I had never laid any groundwork on it, never researched it, anything, and this was what was happening to me. And I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt exactly what was going on while it was happening, and yet I didn't know a thing. In other words, there was one intelligence within me that was guiding the whole thing, and I was listening to it and doing what it said. And then there was a lower intelligence, which not lesser, just a lower intelligence that was like, what the heck is happening? Except that I knew that it was exactly what I was supposed to do, and so I kept doing it. But it was beyond my psyche's ability to understand, and I actually felt a lot of fear resonance would come up, and then I would just like release it to her, and she just kept doing it. And when it was done, she was standing there, and Julie acknowledged me, my healer at the time, and we acknowledged where we were at in the stage of things, and she said, what do you need? And I said, is it okay for me to just let her hold me again? I just need to rest in the light. I don't know which end is up. I feel very confused, but not in a negative way. Just didn't know which end was up. And she said, absolutely. So I asked Julie just agreed to be quiet for about 10 more minutes. And I just went and sat. It's like I just merged myself in with that light and sat there until my body was able to regroup and move. And actually, Julie and she put me up in her bedroom that afternoon, and she went ahead and had her next client because there was no way I could leave. And I sat up in her bed, in her guest bedroom, and I have to smile. Her dog, speaking of Truck the kitty, Gail, her dog, who didn't know me at all, came into the room after she left me there. He nudged the door open, came into the room, and climbed up on the bed with me. He was a big golden retriever, and put his head on my belly, and he just looked at me like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you." And I remember staring at a tree out the window with that dog's head on my lap, and me just breathing and trying to figure out where I had landed, what had just happened to me, except that I knew exactly what had happened. I had healed my depression, so to speak. And for several weeks after that, I couldn't quit crying, and it wasn't like I was out of control crying. It was this deep sense of understanding that whatever I had done, I had taken so much courage that I didn't have really words for it, nor any kind of ego around it. It was the most humbling understanding of people that are connected to their own, and I'm going to use this word without any negative connotations, but their own addictions, their own things that they can't seem to heal or can't seem to get over. I had this sense of, well, no wonder, because what I had done had taken an incredible amount of courage that I didn't even know I had, and I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of went into it naively and innocently. Not kind of, I completely did, from the human level. But from the spiritual level, I look at it now and I go, boy, I was flying a jet plane right into that experience, and I knew exactly what I was doing and where I was going. But I know that now because I've been able to understand that I take responsibility for my experience and my existence as a spiritual being choosing to be in a physical body. And choosing to change the vibrational streams of consciousness that I came in with and that I held, and I knew that I no longer wanted to carry. I didn't want to perpetuate that into my future experiences or lifetimes, and I certainly didn't want those connected with me to carry it with them. And if I had to be honest, I would say I did know that part about my life growing up. I just didn't have words for it. I had a thought today that was just the oddest thing, and it feels like it fits right here, and it was, wow, why isn't there just a job where all we do is love each other? I said, that would be my job. If I could go get the job that I want, the job I really want, it would be the job where I just loved people and they got to feel it and they love me back, and that would be it. That's what I got paid to do, is just love you and you love me and just love people, because that's what I think I'm doing here. Yes, what drinking used to do for George. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm not real sure if what I've been talking about tonight is making a lot of sense for y'all, but it's an important story that needs to be told, so we can gather up the pieces of it as we go tonight. Is there someone waiting this whole time? And Dan, I apologize. Oh gosh.
No, you were on a roll. So
I'm on the phone.
Okay. So Dan, you've been listening and you've listened in for a while. Am I making sense tonight, sweetheart?
Oh, absolutely. I want what you got.
Oh, not today, you don't.
No, not right now. Not right now. There ain't time enough for that one.
Mm-mm.
But I'm not going anywhere until it happens.
Yeah. So how are you this week, by the way?
Well, let me tell you first how I had
Please.
The phone. I wasn't supposed to make any sound or laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that wasn't a laughing one. Thank you for sharing that. It was very, very personal. Very humbled by you. Anyway, I had the telephone under the blanket and the pillow and another pillow, and I was listening to you so that I wouldn't make any sounds,
You're the best.
That was the only way that I could deal with having the phone anywhere near me. God. I'm going to need to set up an appointment with you. I really can't talk.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, honey. I understand. But listen to me real quick before you hang up.
Oh, yeah, I'll listen.
I have one word to say. I just have two words to say to you. Thank you. Okay? Just
Thank you.
thank you for being who you are.
You
Okay?
too.
All right, let me
And
hear
you
from
got
you.
that job.
Thank you, sweetheart. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye. Wow, we're having a night.